Hello, I am Jose Cáceres and welcome to my channel, Sustainable Air Power. This is not my first YouTube video, but certainly it is the first one of hopefully many that focuses on discussing energy and related news. And today I would like to discuss a very interesting news that has caught my attention in recent days. This news, shared in an article by Forbes, discusses what they call limitless geologic hydrogen. Yes, not simply hydrogen, but geologic hydrogen. If you don't know it, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe. However, it has been an elusive form of clean energy for decades. Now, if you haven't read the article, stay here and I will tell you what it's all about. And if you are like me, someone who is into energy, the environment, and sciences in general, what the article says should excite you. At least it did to me. As a geologist myself, and moreover one that works in the oil and gas industry, at the front line as a well site geologist in offshore drilling operations, I find this news with tremendous appeal. And I see the potential of not only utilize the oil and gas industry expertise, given the analogies, as we will see as we dig into the article, but moreover and consistent with climate action to untap a resource that is devoid of carbon emissions. So let's delve into this news. The article starts with the premise that hydrogen formed deep underground by natural processes could be a major new source of untapped carbon free power. And unlike oil and gas, the supply is virtually unlimited. The article asserts that there is mounting scientific evidence that hydrogen created by natural geological processes represent an untapped clean energy source deep underground that could provide vastly more power than we need. This sounds amazing, doesn't it? Well, because of that, drilling startups, just like all Wildcatters back in the 19th century, are starting to realize that the stakes are high and they are already venturing on being first to find big hydrogen deposits. According to Doug Weeks, director of the US Energy Department of Advanced Research Projects, the amount of geologic hydrogen may be astronomical based on how common the geologic conditions needed to generate it appear to be. And what are such conditions? Basically, uh, without going too much into scientific and geological details, basically these are iron-rich pockets of water near tectonic rifts, and the same are located worldwide along the tectonic plates, basically. And how much is that? According to Weeks, we are talking about potentially 150 trillion metric tons. And as reference, he mentions 1 billion ton will power the US for a full year. Now, I said earlier, drilling startups are taking steps towards pioneering in the geologic hydrogen quests. But what about big oil? Well, according to Forbes, to the article by Forbes, Shell, BP, and Chevron are joining a consortium created by the US Geological Survey and the Colorado School of Mines to study geologic hydrogen. Well, yes, they are not uh, going for drilling or exploration, but at least they are now considering it. And we'll see what will they will do and how this will evolve. But the startups, which are small-sized companies or medium-sized companies, they are taking more assertive steps at this moment. So beyond big oil, which are these geologic hydrogen startups, and what are the steps that they have given so far for untapping this resource? So in this space, we have companies like Terra and Natural Hydrogen Energy, two companies that are currently preparing to drill for geologic hydrogen in Nebraska and Kansas in the U.S. along the 1,200-mile mid-continent rift system, a tectonic fissure through the middle of North America. And we also have another company in Australia, Gold Hydrogen, which is based in Australia and looking for this resource there. Then we have in Africa the Montreal-based Hydroma company, Hydroma, which is already tapping a hydrogen well, which was already drilled years ago in Mali, and is producing it for it, and it's already as an energy source being utilized in Mali. I understand it produces 95% of the electricity in a region of the country, and they are looking for more. So that's a great start. And by the way, as a side note, this could just for clarification, we often talk about hydrogen and we correlate it to colors. And we talk about gray hydrogen, green hydrogen. Now, this particular source or this particular hydrogen, this geologic hydrogen or natural geologic hydrogen, which is basically a natural resource, um, it is defined as gold or white. And then we have the variety called green hydrogen, which is made with renewable energy and it is considered green. And the gray hydrogen, which is from natural gas, is considered, it is called gray hydrogen. So just a little explanation about the colors. Now, going back to the natural geologic hydrogen or white or gold hydrogen, and the article in particular. Uh, as I said, this news excites me for different reasons. But one that makes me particularly excited and interested is the fact that the means for exploring and searching for this resource requires the same skills, expertise, methods, and technologies, pretty much the same than those used in oil and gas exploration and development. And we refer among different things. One of them is drilling and drilling technologies, as this resource is to be found in the subsurface. So, although there are many similarities between how we can reach geologic hydrogen and oil and gas, the differences also exist, obviously. Well, unlike oil and gas deposits, which are finite and produce carbon emissions when burned, natural geologic hydrogen does not produce carbon, and moreover, it is generated continuously. So it makes it a renewable resource. There are different theories as to how it is generated, but the main view is that it is a byproduct of a continuous chemical reaction of water mixing with iron in an oxidation state, more like a product of iron at intermediate stage, that it is not fully rust, nor it is a metal. Uh, Luke Belterop of Australia-based Hyterra, one of these uh, geologic hydrogen startups, refers to geologic hydrogen in this manner, and he quotes, "Imagine the potential of an underground factory fueled by nature that generates a replenishable supply of clean, dispatchable energy." Wow, that sounds very promising. Look, well, frankly, so far, geologic hydrogen sounds fantastic, doesn't it? Because if untapped, this renewable, abundant, and replenishable resource has the potential to resolve the intermittence of other renewables, such as wind and solar. And run it through a fuel cell, and it creates electricity, which we can use to power cars, trucks, and the only byproduct of this is water vapor, and no carbon emissions whatsoever. And beyond electricity, is currently vital for oil refining, making it a fertilizer, chemicals, and food processing, and steel production. New applications of the element for things like aviation fuel and stationary power generation will also are expected also to to be significant, and it will be an important use of this resource, and the demand will grow. That is if we make this hydrogen exploration and development a reality, as the supply will start to come up to feed a growing demand. I mean, that's very much what it is expected. The appeal of geologic hydrogen is that, unlike hydrogen generated from natural gas that generates carbon pollution, or producing it from water and renewable energy via electrolysis, which requires more energy input than the produced energy. We're talking about the green hydrogen. Geological hydrogen doesn't have any of these problems. So it does not have the carbon pollution of the gray hydrogen, and it doesn't have the issue of utilizing more energy uh, than the produced energy, which is the case of the green hydrogen. So yeah, we want this to happen, to produce natural hydrogen, natural geologic hydrogen. But why it has taken so long to start hunting for natural hydrogen? It's been commonly thought that because hydrogen is the lightest element on the periodic table, it existed mainly in combination with other elements and not on its own. Geoff Ellis, a petroleum geochemist with the USGS Energy Resources Program, concurs that aside from not knowing to look for it, geological hydrogen's presence is hidden by microbes in the ground that consumes it. Ellis also said, and I will quote some excerpts from the article, from this Forbes article: "It is not that surprising that it's been overlooked because it's a colorless, odorless gas, and these microbes eat it really efficiently in the subsurface as it is leaking out of the ground. There could be really large accumulations in the ground. We just have to figure out where to find them, and we can just drill down there and have this great clean energy resource." But he also cautions that while there is a vast potential volume of geologic hydrogen globally, much of it may be too hard to get. Ellis refers that, and again, I quote his words: most of this is going to be way too deep or way far offshore, or accumulation that are much too small that they will never be economic. However, he estimates globally that there could be at least 10 million megatons of hydrogen in the ground, vastly more than the 100 megatons the world now uses for industrial processes. So, I guess we can get as a conclusion of this is that so there is huge amounts of natural hydrogen, and most of it is hard to reach, very hard to reach, even though we have very advanced technologies that are used in oil and gas that could be used also for this purpose. But we don't need the whole thing anyway. We only need 2 or 3% of all of this. So to make it really uh, a significant component of the energy matrix, of the energy needs, of the global energy needs. So he also, again, quoting his words, he says, "So if just 2 or 3% of the 10 million megatons out there can be tapped, that will supply all of the world's demand of 500 million tons per year for hundreds of years." Wow. So, yeah, basically, we don't need the whole thing. You just need a little bit of it. And the article also highlights the need of building a hydrogen market. If we want to make it attractive, basically. But I think one will go with the other, right? Uh, we need to create the market to make hydrogen uh, exploration and development attractive. And the market already exists, even though it's not big. And it also has the potential to uh, replace other energy sources. But we need to also be successful in finding this hydrogen. So it is important that we give these steps. These startups are doing it already, and to start looking for it and hopefully finding it, and in a manner that it is doable, feasible, and so one will benefit from the other, the demand from the supply, and vice versa. So figuring out where large volumes of geologic hydrogen exist and finding ways to safely extract the gas are challenges yet to be solved. The article mentioned that currently there are conversations within the US Department of Energy for creating a federal grant program to help company and university researchers develop methods to stimulate the natural underground processes that generate hydrogen. So basically boosting what it is already happening in nature, I guess, to be able to produce uh, higher amounts of hydrogen where it is already being produced by nature by stimulating uh, with chemical and electrical methods. Because you have to remember, this differs from hydrocarbons, which require the accumulation of biomass in specific conditions and then deposited in sedimentary basins under uh, tons of sediments and over millions of years. This hydrogen production is constantly happening and is constantly replenishing. And we basically, the idea behind this program is to stimulate the processes that are already creating this resource. So basically, here we're talking about boosting the natural hydrogen generation by stimulating natural underground processes that generate this hydrogen. Well, by doing that, it wouldn't be that natural, I guess, kind of artificial, but we still call it uh, natural geologic hydrogen. And we will see how this goes. If startups show some success, big oil companies will follow. And these companies have the ability to invest billions of dollars into geologic hydrogen. And once they join the race, we will see much more development. But at the moment, it seems like they are not ready to drill wells yet, and they are just taking a wait and see kind of attitude. Well, hopefully they will drill and that the startups succeed. Uh, well, arguably, in the words of Blakislav Zgonik, founder and CEO of Natural Hydrogen Energy, one reason for the why big oil is not investing big money into geologic hydrogen yet, it is maybe because it constitutes a conflict with their core business and it challenges their economic model. So let's wait and see. I'm certain we will be hearing more and more about geologic hydrogen in coming years. I wish success to the startups pioneering in their quest to untap this resource, and I hope that just like it is occurring with geothermal, which is another energy form that I advocate and promote, geologic hydrogen can also become a component of the transition to clean and sustainable energy to fuel our energy needs and those of future generations. Thank you for watching and give a like to my video, hopefully, and see you in the next video. Bye.